Hi everyone. In this video, I just want to explain to you how I've been improving my tactics recently. I have this kind of new method, or at least I think it's a new method in the sense that it's the first time I'm using it, that it's kind of inspired by the woodpecker method. Maybe it counts as the woodpecker method. But first, let me just explain what went wrong um, with my usual method. So I'd just go to puzzles on Lichess and do lots of puzzles, and I thought, okay, I will improve. But realistically, it doesn't really work like that, at least not for me. If I just do puzzles, I will get this rating up to 2500 and it'll just hover around there. And the thing is, at that level, the puzzle is a pure calculation. You just calculate it until the end, and you need a large amount of time. Now, this means I need, I've been doing a lot of this in-depth calculation. I'm getting good at that. I'm just not getting good at finding the easy ones quickly. I can find them, of course. I just need to do it quickly, or at least if I want to get good at blitz, I'll need to get good at the simple tactics quickly. Or if I want to, I mean, it helps in general because in a lot of tactics puzzles, there's like a sting at the end of the tail, which is some double attack or something like this, where it's not on the board currently, but you calculate 5, 10 moves ahead, and then you realize, there's this double attack over here, and that changes the evaluation completely. But you don't see that until you reach there, maybe. So a lot of these are kind of easy, but they're not so easy when the position is not on a board, and you might have to calculate 5 different double attacks for one deep calculation. So what I've been doing is inspired by the woodpecker method. I go to puzzle themes, and I go to buy game opening, and I go to accelerated dragon, this one here. Now I want to learn the accelerated dragon, so I choose this opening. You can choose whichever one you like if you want to do what I'm doing. But what's important is that there's only a few thousand tactics puzzles, which means I get the same tactics puzzles over and over again. The same themes, but sometimes the exact same puzzle, which means the second or third time I see them, I've basically memorized it. So that's what I've been doing. So I click on here. And the other thing is I switch the mode to easier. I've tried easiest minus 600 rating. The puzzles are just too easy. And I've also tried, what's the other one? I've also tried normal, but then it just is calculation. And if you've done a lot of these, you kind of just recognize the pattern. You see some patterns over and over again. And hopefully in those situations, you just don't need to calculate because you know what to do because you've done it 100 times already. And that's what I've been doing. So I'm going to pause, and throughout this video, I'll unpause and show you pattern after pattern after pattern that I recognize now. Yeah, so this is a good example. So this is the accelerated dragon. So we haven't pushed d6. So that's the accelerated. We want to get d5 in fast. We have in this tactics puzzle, we have 2 bishops looking at each other. So here, white wants to take here. And we have the 2 knights looking at each other, which is just part of the opening. What's the tactic? Once you've seen it, it's not a big deal. It's really easy. But you take here. White cannot take here because you're hitting the queen with tempo. So white takes there and they leave their knight in the middle undefended. And you see that over and over again. Oh, here's yet another one that comes up. So whenever this knight moves, it reveals an attack by the bishop. It can move here and attack in here, or it can come over here and reveal an attack over here. So yeah, often knight g4 is very powerful, especially if there's a queen on this square here. Now, what if we take here? We get yet another revealed attack. So knight takes, revealing an attack on the bishop on c4, which is probably why you might not want to put a bishop on c4. But anyway, here, if you want to keep the bishop, you put your queen on there. And then we know what to do, right? We go here. We have the revealed attack on the queen, and we got this checkmate threat. So, yeah. So otherwise you lose the bishop, and here with the double attack. Yeah, that was a good one. Actually, this is not a bad one as well, because in a lot of lines you in the Sicilian dragon or the accelerated dragon, all your effort is put into maximizing your bishop's potential, combining it with rooks attacking this super weak square. Now, how do we maximize it? We maximize it like this. Checkmating pattern. All right. Oh, here it is again. The same idea in a different position, right? So we got these bishops looking at each other and these kings looking at each other. Which one do you take first? Whoops, which one do you take first? So basically the queen defends both of them, so it's overworked. However, if you take this one, right? So we take this one first because it attacks the queen and even threatens to take it with tempo, with check, and we win the piece. Yeah, like that's how common it is. Every few, maybe every 10th puzzle or so on, it's that particular puzzle, that particular pattern. Yeah, this is the kind of reason why I like to study these tactics, because I'm fairly new to the Sicilian. I've played Caracan for many years and it's much more positional. So the idea of just ignoring your opponent smashing open your king side is kind of unnatural to me. But once you've seen it, you're counter-attacking and it's like, yeah, knock yourself out. Take as many pieces as you like. Yeah, because black's attack, it can be super strong. And in this case, we check and we see that this pawn here is super hard to defend. So we just point our bishop at there, and what's black gonna do? Yeah, start giving away pieces. Yeah. So that kind of pattern, just simply find a weak spot in your opponent's king side and ignore everything they do and attack that. Yeah, it comes up quite a fair amount in the Sicilian. Here's another good one. Now, because I've done this training, I know exactly what to do here without even calculating anything. Why? Because I've seen the pattern over and over again. And this is the exact same pattern again. It happens when you have a knight on d5 and a bishop that can move to b6. So it doesn't even matter that this can be taken. It probably will be taken, in fact. So what we're going to do is move the bishop to b6, attack the queen. The queen goes, uh-oh, where are my squares? I go over here, and then we get this fork. So the computer usually just takes the knight, and then we get a free queen. Yeah. So that's one I've seen over and over again. Yeah, this one is tricky. I find sometimes I need to take this, sometimes I need to take this, and sometimes I need to take this. Yeah, so I think in this puzzle I need to take this one. So opening up lines against here. So there'll be 3 attackers. Yeah, what's going to happen with this knight? I don't know. If you take, then what do I do? Take with the pawn? But yeah, I've seen this puzzle multiple times. You're hitting my queen, so maybe I'll just take with the pawn. Yeah. So that's one I would, that's one I would like to get better at, because I've seen it multiple times through this. It must be decent, right? It must be worth learning. So sometimes you take the one knight, sometimes you take the other knight, sometimes there is a pawn and you need to take the pawn. Interesting. Pattern recognition. Yes, here's yet another puzzle I've seen multiple times now. Getting rather accustomed to it. I just see the position and know what to do. So remember this fianchettoed bishop. Fianchettoed bishop, if this knight ever moves, it reveals an attack on whatever's in front of it, and sometimes all the way to this pawn. So this is attacking and this is attacking this knight. So if only this knight weren't here, like, boom, we just take this, right? I've seen this specific puzzle a few times. This is where it gets tricky. We take the queen. I don't know why, but presumably you take mine and I don't know. This is another good one. This one in particular for the accelerated dragon is very important, this tactic. Now, if you have not seen that tactic before, you might not realize how important this is. The thing is, this is very common and it's absolutely crushing. It's game over, basically. Yeah, I think white can resign after the next move. Now, it happens when white has castled queenside and has put their queen on d2, which is what usually happens. They move the queen on d2, castle queenside in the dragon, and then push pawns and crush. The problem is the king and queen are lined up on a diagonal, and so if someone had a bishop, a fianchettoed bishop, say, we can just put it on there and white resigns. Yeah, that is very, very common in this opening in particular. Good pattern to recognize in particular. Yeah, so this is another common tactic. So simply the queen is attacking b2. The king's castle, kingside. So white's revealed an attack on here. So what happens, I find, is that if you take here, you end up attacking more than you are defending. Sometimes taking on here is a poison pawn, but in this case, yeah, you just attack. Yeah. So I'm starting to realize in this opening, a lot of the time capturing on b2 is a good idea. It's more powerful than anything else. None of this poison pawn. We saw this one already, right? We have a knight. It's not on d5 this time, but the idea is the same. We just ignore what what black does, and we go boom, bishop here attacking the queen. If queen there, boom, right? So queen doesn't go there, so we just take it. Yeah, pattern recognition. Even though it's a different position, it's the same concept. So this one has come up, this sort of concept has come up in like 3 different forms. This is the simplest of them. White played bishop here, wanting to swap off, and we agree because we get this. It attacks the queen, and we get that. They leave the knight hanging by accident. Or removal of defender. That type of tactic comes up a lot, and if we see some more, I'll show you them too. Yeah, this tactic I've seen many times too. It's not the most exciting one. The catch is we need to determine whether we check and with the double attack, or do we take first and then check with the double attack. So what happens is, because we've done this puzzle many times over, if I check immediately, the knight drops back. So we take, and the bishop cannot block the check, and we take the bishop. Right? You get, once you've seen them many times over, it's not a big deal. Here's another one which comes up a lot. So black's attack's in full swing. How does black finish off white? Well, it looks pretty tempting to go queen here, right? Check, and white only has one legal move. And then what do? There's a juicy pawn here, and we take it with the bishop or the queen, whichever. Yeah, that pattern came up quite a lot. Right. This one, we know what to do, right? Bishop here and then in here. We barely have to think. It's the same thing every single time. Same thing. Here's this one again. Do we take here, do we take here, or do we take here? I think when there is a pawn protecting here, we take the pawn because it hits the queen. Yeah, it's undefended. So you've taken here and just forgotten you have a pawn that needs defending. And here attacks the... Yeah, you just kind of get used to it. Yep, this is the next one, which I've seen many times over. Now, you're probably very tempted to go check at first glance, unless you've studied this tactic before. Take, king here, and then go, oh, can I get it? No, I can't. Oh, I don't know. Now, what you do, once you've seen this many times over, you stick a bishop here, and no matter what black does, then the back rank mate threat is checkmate. Oh, wow, this is a good one. Oh, it would be. We saw this one before, right? You just take this, and the queen has to abandon the defense of this one here. Yeah, sometimes they come up immediately. They're that common. Yep, here's another one I've seen many times. When the knight comes in, takes the pawn, and hits your queen, but you can take this knight and hit their queen, you do that. If they take yours, you take theirs, and you win this race, whatever you want to call it. And if their queen runs away, I don't know, it never actually happened. You just take that, I guess. Yeah, this one. It doesn't run away. You take, black takes there. You take here, defending your own queen if necessary. Yeah, that one I've seen quite a few times in many different forms, in this opening in particular. Anyway, we'll call it a video. That's the general idea. I've been doing quite a few of these. I'll show you my, yesterday and today. Yesterday I did nearly 3,000. Today, doing much fewer. But yeah, you can kind of see my rating has gone up quite a bit. It took a dive. It took a dive from the previous style where I got my rating up. But it was more about depth. Now it's more about fast. So I make occasional mistakes. They're much easier as well. Puzzles are easier. Make occasional mistakes, but I want to try and get it more instinctive. So after the initial dive, it's going up a little bit. So now that I know the patterns, maybe it'll go back up and I will be able to do it much faster. Well, hopefully, we'll see if that happens. I'm not sure. Anyway, hopefully you feel inspired by such videos to consider using this method yourself. I hope you enjoy such content. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. TTFN!